Patrick Mahomes has only played 5 NFL seasons to this point. However, so far, Mahomes has looked like a superstar and has been arguably the best player in the NFL. Mahomes so far has won 2 Super Bowls, 2 MVPs, and has been selected to multiple Pro Bowls and All-Pro teams. Despite being widely recognized as a superstar, 9 teams passed on him in the draft, so let's take a look at who these players were. To start, before the draft, Patrick Mahomes was already showing his incredible talent. In his last season at Texas Tech, he led the team with 41 touchdowns and only 10 interceptions. However, NFL scouts were not fully convinced that he was the real deal. He was considered a boom or bust product, either the next Hall of Fame quarterback or the next Jamarcus Russell, with a strong arm but not enough passing skills. The first player taken before Mahomes was Myles Garrett by the Cleveland Browns. Garrett is a game wrecker on defense who can change the game with a single play. It's clear Garrett is a generational player, but whether he can stay on the field and perform is the real question. If the Browns had another chance at this first overall pick, they would for sure take Patrick Mahomes. The Chicago Bears made their second overall pick in the draft by selecting Mitch Trubisky, a quarterback whose name wasn't Patrick Mahomes. While they couldn't have predicted what happened to Myles Garrett, this was the first mistake made in the video by NFL scouts who were infatuated with Trubisky's athleticism, accuracy, and cannon-like arm. However, his rookie season was underwhelming with only 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and 10 fumbles. Despite this, even the best quarterbacks struggled in their first year. In 2018, the Bears went an astounding 11-3, but not because of Trubisky's performance. Rather, it was their defense that carried the team. Trubisky did improve that year with 24 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, showing signs of becoming a franchise quarterback. However, things took a turn for the worse in 2019 when his numbers declined and the Bears only won 8 games. Trubisky went from being a dream quarterback to a nightmare, and the Bears would undoubtedly take Mahomes if they could redo their pick. Mahomes could have won the Super Bowl with that defense in 2018, but instead, the Bears are an average team with an average quarterback. With the 3rd overall pick, the San Francisco 49ers selected defensive end Solomon Thomas, which was a good choice since they had just traded for Jimmy Garoppolo and did not need a quarterback. However, Thomas has not lived up to expectations this far, with only 3 sacks in his rookie year and 1 sack in 2018, despite playing all 16 games. As a result, the former number 3 overall pick now sits on the bench for the 49ers. 4th pick before Mahomes was Leonard Fournette, drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars, which was a mistake since they desperately needed a franchise quarterback to complement their excellent defense, yet they chose a running back. Fournette had a decent rookie season, but he's been inconsistent and injury-prone since then. He has had a great playoff run with the Buccaneers on their way to the Super Bowl, but besides that, he has not lived up to expectations. The 5th overall pick was Corey Davis, drafted by the Tennessee Titans, which has proven to be a bad decision since he lacked the necessary skills to be an elite receiver. He was traded to the New York Jets, and besides a couple mediocre seasons, he's been a bust overall. The 6th overall pick was Jamal Adams, drafted by the New York Jets, which was a surprisingly good pick for the team for its poor decision making. Adams has been an exceptional safety, making the Pro Bowl twice and even earning MVP honors at one point. They would then use Adams as a trade piece as they traded him to the Seahawks for multiple first-round picks. Despite Adams' success, the Jets would still choose Mahomes if they could go back in time, as he's considered one of the top players in the league. The 7th player drafted in the 2017 draft was wide receiver Mike Williams, back when Phillip Rivers was still a highly regarded quarterback rather than the interception-prone player he has become. Therefore, drafting Mahomes was not considered an option at this time. So the 8th player chosen before Patrick Mahomes was Christian McCaffrey, selected by the Carolina Panthers. This was not a bad pick for the franchise, as McCaffrey had been one of the best running backs in the league for that team. If Panthers had the chance to redo this pick, they would still probably choose McCaffrey, but selecting Mahomes over him would be a close decision. In general, a franchise quarterback is more valuable than a franchise running back. The 9th and final player picked before Mahomes was John Ross, selected by the Cincinnati Bengals. In the Dalton era, the Bengals had been mediocre and at worst, downright embarrassing. They needed a quarterback, and Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson were both still available. If someone was not impressed by Mahomes' athleticism, then Watson was a solid choice and vice versa. However, the Bengals did not select either of these franchise quarterbacks, instead picking John Ross, who many consider to be the worst draft bust in NFL history. Finally, the Kansas City Chiefs made their best decision in franchise history by drafting Patrick Mahomes with the 10th overall pick. Alex Smith had been their starting quarterback for 5 years and performed well, making the playoffs every season. However, they could not get past the first round, leading to them taking a chance on Mahomes, who was considered a boom or bust product. He proved to be a boom, becoming one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Marshawn Lattimore was chosen by the Saints at number 11, while the Texans selected Deshaun Watson at number 12, creating what could be the biggest quarterback rivalry of this decade between Mahomes and Watson.